Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Cause I'm singing Sam's not jolly, fa la 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 la.
Not the days
He has got real face on, fa la 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 la. Are we going live now?
We're already live.
Oh right, okay.
About 3 hours sleep. Please.
Yeah, I know.
Leave me alone.
Oh bless you.
You clean your mat as well. Look how dirty it looks.
Oh no, I got my volume up. I got to clean my mat.
How dirty it looks on the camera.
It's because I've been using Fusion. I've been using the new Christmas Fusions, haven't I? But yeah, I do need to clean it. I bought some wipes, actually. Some elbow grease surface scrub wipes. So, good evening, Dawn. Sorry. Good evening, Wendy, Sue Waddington, Sam Hope, and Julia Gales. Hello, Julia. Did you say hello to John for me? I hope so. She might have heard it. I said last week, say hello to Arlo for us. I haven't seen him in ages, didn't I? And she works with him. So, good evening, Junie. Good evening, Sue, Diane. I'm not going to say hello to everybody because it really does wind Sam up, bless. And to be fair, it does me a little bit. You know, when you watch those videos and spend the first 10 minutes saying hello to everybody.
It's nice,
it is nice, but it's nice when it's you. It's not when you're having to listen to everybody. So, let me just move that down a little bit just so that we're... Yeah, honestly. So, there we go. Let's move the card out. Right, so, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Craft Cave Live. First of all... I'm probably going to say this a few times through the show. I just wanted to say thank you, genuinely, heartfelt thank you to everybody who supported us on the shows for this collection. It was very, very close to our hearts. It is something I'm really, really proud of, and I was very, very nervous. And the fact that everybody really, really loved it and the reactions we got were so nice. So genuinely, thank you. And I'm not saying thank you because people bought it. I'm saying thank you for the support and the lovely emails we got, because that is just as important. It really is, because we do this because we love doing it, to be honest. So, oh, I like that. Sandra Witter. Evening, John and Sam and all addicted crafters. I like that. Sammy likes that. So, what I'm going to do tonight is we're going back to normal. We've done the
I know why
things.
it didn't cut, sorry.
Why didn't it cut?
On level 2.
Oh, you idiot.
No.
Sam's playing with his scan and cut. Because, I mean, I know this is something I've said loads of times, but we are crafters. It used to be I'm a crafter and Sam was a supporter. Now he is a crafter. We're exactly like you guys. We buy everything. How many machines have we got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably about 12 between.
I'm going to say, yeah, probably about 12. So, of course, we've got a scan and cut. We've got all the bits everyone's got. We buy them like everyone does. So, yeah, so he's playing with that. If you hear some he's doing some bits ready for our next show, or the show after. So thank you to everyone for the collection. I really hope everyone liked it as much. We are going back to normal. Oh, Sue Orchin's found us. She's on the Isle of Wight. Hello, Sue. Hello, said Sam. So what we're going to do is, obviously, we're going to make a card. You know, this is what we do. This is what Craft Cave's all about.
Yeah, could you write down
Sorry?
the list?
The list? What list?
Who got it for?
Oh, yeah, no, it's on my phone as an email.
Okay.
But one of the things we are going to change this week, simply because, and I haven't discussed this, I'll probably get shot. Everyone loved it last week. We're going to write down questions as we're going and answer them all at the end, because that seemed to work really, really well, and it stopped us having to sort of, keep answering the same question. So, as per usual, if you've got any questions, fire them in. Sam will write them down.
Blue Gaze will not be available at Newbury because there's no start this out.
No, it launches Sunday.
Okay, there you go. Any questions?
Yeah, but any questions now, pop them on. Sam will write a list and we'll answer it at the end. Because that's what we genuinely... We've loads and loads of people. Right, Terry, Go Power. We can actually say that now, can't we? Because I've had confirmed the stock is in.
Oh, that's fine.
Yes, Go Power show will be a week on Sunday. Is that right? Yes, the 9th. A week on Sunday, the Go Power will be back.
Yeah, 9th.
It is the 9th. It is definitely confirmed. Peter has very kindly agreed to let me do the show again, because it's not our stock. It's not a Crafts2 product. I do it because I personally love the machine. So it will be launching as the one-day special on Sunday, the 9th of July. The stock is physically in the warehouse.
At Create and Craft.
At Create and Craft. Yeah, it isn't anywhere else. It was going to be gold, but I think it's pink from what they've said. I know.
It'll be a surprise for everyone.
It'll be a surprise for everyone because we're not even sure. But yeah, so it is in Terry, and it will go live at 6 o'clock because it'll be a monthly mega deal, so there will be an offer price. But also, I think this will be on that show. So because it gives me time to explain why it's so much better. So this is going on as well on that show. Yes.
So Sandra's asked about the scan and cut.
Yeah.
Would it contravene your angel policy if you use your flowers as to decorate basic box cut out using the scan and cut? You can't use any die cut.
You cannot scan in any die or any die cut to the scan and cut. So you can't scan in a die cut, and you can't scan in a die. And the reason for that is it's not being mean, it's not being funny. You can make a box on the scan and cut and use our flowers on it and everything, use anything you want on there. But the angel policy does not allow you to scan in a die cut and resize it or scan in a die. And the simple reason is that I designed these dies to be a certain size. And I know because we've tested it. If you scan a die cut in, you will never get the same result as you get from the die. And I don't want anybody to think that that's the result that you get out of one of my dies. So we, just like tonic, we keep the dies the same, and we ask you not to do that. So that's the only thing. But you can decorate any box with anything, yeah. You know, there's no rules on that. You do what you like with them once you bought them. Yeah, it's going to get on the Craft Cave. So, Sam, which I thought was really, really clever. Sam was really, really clever, and he put out a post a couple of days ago, didn't you? Asking what you wanted to see. Was it yesterday? I think it might have been Monday. Yeah, we've had neighbour trouble, so Sam's not had a lot of sleep, bless him. Thankfully, because I'd just done the shows, I was sleeping like the dead. So despite the fact he woke me up to tell me the police were outside, I went back to sleep within 30 seconds. We shouldn't explain all of this, but it's life, isn't it? It's what happens. So the winners were... the Stag Circle was number 2, which I was surprised about, and number 1 was... the poinsettia. Oh, Samantha Hughes. Can everyone just give Samantha Hughes a big congratulations? She renewed her vows yesterday. Was yesterday, wasn't it? Because we were going to be going, but unfortunately I was in there yesterday. I was still in Create and Craft yesterday filming a set of instructional courses about die cutting using the new machine, which is why we know it's physically there. Well, I have to do more on Sunday as well. But yeah, so please say congratulations to Samantha, and we're sad we missed it. The photos are lovely. The winners were the Stitch Poinsettia and the Stag Circle. And I've got to be honest, the Stag Circle is probably my favourite at the moment. It really is. So I want to follow through on what you've said, and I'm going to make a card using mainly the poinsettia and the Stag Circle. I am going to bring in a couple of other bits like the holly because I like to dress it in the right way, but that's what we're going to do. And what I'm going to do is, I just put a few bits here so there's something bright for you to look at. I want to do something that we can't do on Create and Craft. We can't do on telly very well because their cameras, the HD cameras, don't handle it well. And that's white on white. And I personally love all white cards, and I love white on white and getting texture and dimension in there. And it's something that's very, very hard to do on TV because it just doesn't show well. It doesn't show as well as it does on an iPhone. It's crazy because that's all we film on is just literally an iPhone. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. So again, any questions, any comments, fire them in. Sam will make a list and we'll answer them at the end. Right, so what I'm going to do first is, and this is interesting, I saw a question in, I think it was Jodie's group earlier, about, somebody said, why do you cut out the first circle first and not put them all together? And the answers a lot of people were giving was about dies slipping. Now, you know, good dies shouldn't slip, but what you've got to do is make sure it's taped down well. So if you are cutting two shapes together, which I'm going to do because I'm far too lazy to cut them in separate sections, I'm going to just make sure it's well stuck down in at least 2 places. And that is literally all I'm doing on a square of card, and I've made it as small as I possibly can. And I'm just going to run that through my machine. Now, obviously, I've pre-cut this because I don't want anybody to, you know, I don't want to have to sit here for hours picking out the bits. But I will run that through and cut it. So I have got one already done, but I've also got here a plain circle that I've cut out. Yeah. So I've cut out a plain circle. I know someone's just said, Samantha, someone can't watch the show on the 9th. Don't worry, it's on the 9th and the 10th. And then I'm on the 10th with our stuff as well, aren't I?
Has the pink paper arrived in time for... Well, I will tell you this because I don't mind getting in trouble.
Yeah.
There's pink.
Yeah.
And there's other colours.
Yes.
But we're not going to tell you anything about that.
No, we're not going to tell you anything about that.
Until the 9th.
So the tape will launch on the 9th. Yeah. So the tape will be available on the show of the 9th.
You won't get a choice, by the way.
No.
The colour.
No.
You will get a pink. If you buy the bundle, you definitely get a pink, and you'll get a random colour.
And you get a colour and a dispenser, yeah.
That's all we're telling you.
So that's all we're saying. So can you see here? It's cut out, and this is my favourite thing, to be honest. It's cut out all of this detail, but look, there's a couple little bits there where it hasn't because they've just skipped past. So just rotate it so that those bits now get more time to cut. So I'm putting it back on and I'm putting it back through. So I'm rotating it by like 45 degrees to give it space to cut. 10th of July is my birthday, so what will I be buying myself, I wonder? It's not a question. No, that was not a question. I've got to stop answering question. Jackie, all products are launched. Oh, that's a question you can put on there.
You're launched on CNC, and if there's stock left, retailers get it.
Yeah.
If there's no stock left, retailers won't get it.
Yeah.
So you make the choice of where you purchase from.
Yeah.
It's
So
one of those ones.
we're just going to, I'm going to peel this out. Now, obviously, I want the centre out of this because I'm going to make a wreath, but I'm going to show you one I've not done before. So this is something I've not done before. Dave said I've been asleep most of the afternoon. Sam, you tried that, didn't you? You got about 20 minutes, I think, bless him. Yeah, it went really, really hot here. I don't know what it's been like weather-wise where you are, but my gosh, it's been hot here.
24 degrees driving earlier.
So I'm not going to prick all of it out, but I just want to show you every bit is cut. And that's what you worry about on delicate dies, but it's worth just spending that little bit of time and cutting it twice by moving it in between. And where the curl is, we hold it down and we pull out. So just like that. So I've got one already cut. And I've got a circle of card. And what I'm aiming for is a wreath. I want the circle out of the middle. But the way I've shown you a couple of times is we cut the middle out. And I didn't cut the middle out at the beginning because I'm asking a lot with 3 lines. But if I cut the middle out and then I glue it on, and then I put the die back in and cut the middle out, it's 2 cuts. So I've worked out a way to do it in 1 cut because I'm lazy. So I'm going to spray glue this onto another circle cut with the die. Really simple. And I've got a new can of spray glue and the nozzle's a nightmare. It seems to sprays everywhere. My arm is now covered. Remember, if you get spray glue, hand sanitizer, the only good thing to come out of COVID, and it will take it off. So now, there I've got that white on white and that lovely detail. But all I'm going to do is just literally put the circle in the middle, tape it down, and cut through 2 layers, because we know our plain dies will easily cut 2 layers of card. And of course now I can just go straight through my Kaleido because it's only a small die. You see there, look, gone through both layers. So it's speedier, and you know how lazy I am. So I've just used 3 of the dies from the Stag Circle, but I get that beautiful, and it helps press it into place, beautiful Stag Circle. Yeah, all the way through. So, Tanya, what we're doing tonight is we're answering questions at the end. Did you get that one down? Did you get Tanya's down? Oh, right, yeah. But we'll go running through it all at the end. So, Sam's like, we've answered it. So, love the white on white. But what I want to do is, obviously, I want to add a little bit of shine to this. So because we're using one colour, I want to add a little bit of different textures and things in. So to start with, I'm going to glitter this using the Crystal Snow, which you know is my addiction. It's so rare that we actually order back in something, certainly a glitter, but this year we have reordered it back in. So all I'm doing is putting a messy line. Because of the Crystal Snow and the way it is, you don't have to be an expert. I mean, I watch Phil being so careful when he's going round and he's glittering around his shapes. And I just don't have that ability to be careful. So I find, because this is so chunky, it doesn't matter. You see there already? It's literally like I've taken caster sugar or white clear Demerara sugar and put it on. So I've done the inside. It's easier to do that because it's easier to hold the outside. And then I do the same thing again on the outside using the fine glue applicator because I don't want to waste any of it. I had my order through today. I ordered myself 2 new pots, even though I had 2 pots last year and I was using what was left. You know I have Foro. So I've topped up my pot, my IKEA pot, with 1 more pot, and I've kept a pot in reserve. And now, because I wasn't able to get a reserve last year because it sold out, so as soon as it's and I genuinely, Foro, I have a real fear of running out, but I'm just going around the edge and glittering it.
Oh, evening, Teresa. It's the first time watching.
Oh, evening, Teresa. Welcome to the Craft Addicts, I think is what Sandra Witter calls us. Madhouse. Yeah, it is a madhouse. So again,
but everyone's lovely though.
They are lovely. Do you know, I mean, I know people say things, but with the way Sam manages this group, we have never had a swear word. We've never had a nasty comment aimed at anyone.
If there is, it's been
Yeah.
very much, you know.
No, but nobody's ever trolled anyone or anything. We don't want any of that. We're just here to have a nice time. So there's my circle. Now, obviously, you need to put that aside to dry. At the moment, it's like 10 minutes to get it fully dry. But remember I said I want to actually add I want to actually add different layers on it. So I've got plain, I've got sparkle. I am going to use a new product, but don't worry, this will be out on Sunday. So I'm going to use the Pearl Dimension to add myself a pearl element.
Scared of Sam. No.
You should be scared of him because I am.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not that scary. If anyone who's met me will know.
He's not. He's a big teddy bear.
Unless you annoy me.
Unless, yeah, and then, yeah, you will know about it.
Yeah.
But he does it for the best reasons, guys. He wants to keep this safe for everybody. Because let's face it, there's very little on social media that's actually safe anymore, is there?
I can't remember who was it. Someone else has had their profiles.
Oh, they haven't.
I can't remember who it is. It's someone in the industry.
Yeah.
I thought, well,
Someone tried to attack my Twitter earlier.
your Twitter, I don't know.
Well, no, I didn't realise I had Twitter till he emailed me, so I've changed the password. So if you want to use Twitter, I've changed it.
No.
But again, that mixture of white, the sparkle and the pearl, I love that.
It's all about me tonight.
Oh, is it all about Sammy tonight? Yeah.
I'm amazing. Well,
So-
I try my best.
Here's one I made earlier that's dry. Yeah, so if you see that, this is the great thing about the pearl look. They've not really squished, because that's the one thing I look for when I buy this stuff. They've not squished at all. So I think that is just beautiful. So that's our piece. But again, we talked about when we're doing white on white, what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to mix white on white with texture. So I've taken a piece of white, again, coconut white essential cards, what I'm using. And I've embossed it with one of last year's embossing folders. And I think this one might still be on the Art of Craft, might it? The Merry Christmas, I'm not sure. But you can use any folder, yeah? And what I would normally be doing is, if this show was a week later, this thing I'm doing now would be a week later, I would actually be going over the top of this with the new Ice White Pearl Fusion ink pad to to sort of echo that pearl look. Shall I do it a little bit? It's not on the finished one, but I wasn't going to use, I'll use a little bit, just because I can. But I wasn't going to, because it's naughty. Right, so all I'm going to do is just a circle in the centre. On white is one of those things you wouldn't think of using a white pearl ink on a white thing, but look, hopefully the shine comes across. I'm sure it probably doesn't, but you will get that pearl shine on it. It's not really showing on screen, is it?
It won't do.
No, it won't do. But what I'm going to do is instead, remember we used earlier sparkle and pearl. I'm going to do the same thing with this embossed piece now. So I'm going to take my pearl dimension and I'm just going to messy it and roughly, because don't forget, this is not just for doing pearls, this is for doing so much more.
Oh, apparently it is showing.
I am going to, what's showing? Is it? Oh, good. I'm just going to roughly, can you see here, hopefully? I'm roughly scrubbing and squeezing a little bit of it on the edge. I don't want it smooth. Don't try and get it smooth, because it's hard to do. If something's hard, cheat. But literally, I'm just squeezing and running my nozzle along the edge. And I'm doing it in the air, so that it doesn't stick to my board. Yep, so literally just going along. And the messier it looks, the better it looks when it's finished, honestly. So I'm just going along the edges, just like that. And then the last one, be careful. Just there. Hold it in the air. And just squeeze along the edge. I'm going to have to refill this bottle soon. I've used so much of the white. As soon as it launches, I'm going to have to order myself a couple extra on of each colour.
Yeah, whatever.
Sam's just like, whatever. Yeah. Now, if you leave this to dry down flat, it's going to stick. Because you're bound to get some on the other side, although somehow I haven't. So what I do is, I must be honest, this is what I did earlier. I get something like a Coke can and just rest it on there to dry. Just so it can dry all the way around in the air. So I'm just going to move that. Have a drink. Let's grab some microbeads. I'm going to put that to one side to dry and bring in the one I've done. And I will actually pearl the middle of this one as well.
No more shouting in the studio.
No more what?
No more shouting in the studio from fine. Yes.
What from?
As much as Nigel is a lovely man.
He is a lovely man and he really cares. Yeah, his innuendo and his shouting can get a bit much sometimes.
But, yeah.
Yes.
He is a lovely guy.
Yeah. But I'm going to be really, really honest. I personally found it very strange that somebody turned up and went on TV Tonight to give him a hug and say goodbye, but didn't bother doing that for Hayley.
Yeah, that was very rude.
I thought that was very rude. But there we go.
He can't watch because he's not in the group.
No, he can't. So, Adam, if you're watching, naughty you. But you see when it's done, look. We're adding that extra layer of detail on. I actually thought, wouldn't this be lovely for even any time of the year? Wouldn't it be really nice for wedding invitations? Because it's something that you can't get in those wedding stationery shops. You know, a sort of puffed up, pearlised edge. It's just beautiful. Well, you can't. Sam says I'm rude. And then I've done exactly the same. I've taken, so this was 5 3/4. And I've taken a piece of white card, again, the coconut white, or you can see the pearl again, because it changes the colour. I've cut this to 6 by 6, yeah, to give me a new sort of matte. And I want to keep that idea of white on white, texture, pearl and glitter. Actually, it reminds me, it's Diamonds and Pearls, isn't it? If anyone remembers the Prince song. So I've gone round the edge of the 6 by 6 piece with the glue, and I've just glittered that. So it's the same idea again. I will do it. I know it's boring, but this one you don't have to do in the air. I mean, I tend to, but just pulling. I'm using the fine glue applicator, so I don't waste a lot of glitter, really. And it's easier, and because this is watered down, it stretches better. And I'm just drawing a rough line all the way along all 4 sides of my piece of card. Don't have to be neat. And if you do get it on your mat, you just wipe it off. It's only glue. Just use a bit of alcohol hand sanitizer. That seems to take everything off. So drawing my line all the way around. Yeah, so Mary asked a question I want to answer in the middle, which is unusual. But yeah, you could use tape to do this. But tape will give you a precise thing. You probably want the 3mm or the 6mm power tape for it. Because remember, this is heavy. If you use normal tape or even red line tape, it's just going to break off. I would really, really strongly recommend using glue, Mary. Because tape, it will crack off. Because what's actually happening when you put this on, it's sticking into the glue in different areas. So it's not like when you use a flat glitter. I would save the tape for when you're using one of the really fine glitters, because that will stick perfectly. I would try and use glue when you're using the Crystal Snow, because you're trying to stick diamonds on effectively with a piece of double-sided tape. No matter how strong it is, it doesn't connect in enough places, whereas obviously on this, it sticks into the glue. So I've got a lot more on there than I would get with tape. Yeah, so I've just used it with a little bit, and what I've done is, and this is the best way, use your fine glue applicator, your Crafts 2 one with your Craft Artist glue with a little bit of water in it. It makes it run really well. And there is no set amount for water. Please don't message us again saying, how much water do you add? Because if I have to go back in a polite way and say, how long's a piece of string once more? Yeah, so the Crystal Snow is available from the Art of Craft. Oh yeah, stop answering questions. Sam's told me to stop answering. We'll answer all questions at the end because people really preferred it last week.
If I think they've been answered already, then they're not going to be asked.
Yeah, but he'll ask the question. Yeah, so there's our piece that's done, and there is our piece of pearl that's done. But I just think that really looks so expensive. That mixture of pearl and glitter. So the one thing you do need to do when you've done this sort of white glittering on the edge of a layer is, this is 6 inches, remember, is cut yourself a layer that's just a little bit bigger. So you know I always go 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to cut a layer that's 6 1/8 just to support it at the back, and it really makes it shine and it makes it look more luxurious. So I've done that, so I've cut that to 6 1/8, yeah? And I'm just going to flat glue that on. So again, I'm using my Craft Artist fine glue applicator. That's more than enough. Craft Artist glue is on its way. I know people are desperate. The new one, you'll love it. You will absolutely love it. It's the same glue, but the applicator for it is amazing. But hopefully you can see it makes a real difference having that white card behind as opposed to not doing. So that's without it. That's with. It just frames it and makes it feel more. You see the glittering more than you do just on its own look. So I know it's a little tip, but it makes a real difference. So I've got that panel. I've got my pearled and my pearl outed embossed level. So I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape. Just because something's white on white doesn't mean it has to be. I think white on white gives you a chance to explore more. Gives you a chance to, you know, like I say, use texture, use different finishes more. And when people see an all white card, they kind of look at it more, because all of the interest is in what you're adding onto it. I mean, again, this would look beautiful. You could tell you what looks really nice is if you get the pale blue fusion and colour the edge and then put the snow on, because the snow then looks as if it's blue. It will pick up whatever colour the card has been edged in. Oh, Sammy's got a weird look on his face. Did it cut this time? You scan and cut. Did it cut your deers out?
It did.
So here's my panel. Here's my panel just fitting in. And I went 1/4 of an inch bigger. But again then, beautiful finish. As the light catches it, really nice. So I'm going to put some foam tape onto the back of here. A little bit in the middle. And this is going onto a 7x7 card blank. There we go. So let's just... So a little bit more foam tape, just again to keep that dimension going. Still not that deep. It's really not. So let's just go with this one. But, I mean, if you're doing white on white, it really is worth it. The only thing, the two things to have with you at all times when you're making a white on white card is a bottle of hand sanitizer to clean your hands, just in case you touch something you shouldn't, and a glue eraser to take glue marks or any little marks off the white card. That's it's not even anything special, but that's all I use. So, remember top fold. We're going to put that into the middle of a 7x7, perfect mats and layers. But I mean, that could have anything on it. You could have a bauble hanging on it, anything. It just really, I think, works. So we've got our circle, but look how that works now. And frames on there. We've kept that idea going. So I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to use my usual trick. So if you're using the foam tape I use or something similar, take off your protective piece and it will turn corners. But you do want to be a little bit careful here because you've got white pearl on it and glitter. So just don't press down too hard because you don't want to start picking up any mucky colours or pressing your pearls down too much. Now I'm putting one layer, and because it's Christmas and I can, and I'm going to go around and have a second layer on, just so I get a nice little bit of dimension. There we go. And remember, how do we know where the bottom is? Arrow for the top of the stag and the heart, yeah? And I always do is find whatever's the nicest pearl, to be honest. So in actual fact, I'm going to go with that one because I'm going to cover it. So use the sizing to put it on, and we're just going to put that down. So there we've got our circle on, and as you get closer, you will see all of the detail and all of that shine. And that's just from normal lighting here. All that shine's coming. So the other one, or the most popular one, because poinsettia was the most popular, wasn't it?
Yeah, only by one.
Only by one. I think it was 187 votes for poinsettia and 186 for the circle, something like that. So now I'm going to do the poinsettia. So I've got some already prepped, but I'm going to cut those. So once again, you remember the way I do it. We want a piece of card that is effectively 5 3/4 by 4 1/8, so we're getting 4 of them out of a piece of A4. We're just going to use the plate. Am I doing all right for time?
You got to answer questions.
I am.
So.
Yeah, a little bit of tape. Put it on, and I'm going to run these through. Now this is, there's a lot you're asking to cut in here, so don't be afraid of sticking a metal shim in if you think it might help. Only ever put a shim in when you need one. Don't do it all the time, because if you do it all the time, you will stress your machine. So then you will need to use one all the time, and then you'll have to use one again. Then you'll have to use 2, because you will push your machine eventually. Yeah. So you stitch poinsettia again. It's almost designed for white on white, this one. Don't worry, for your coloured poinsettias, there's something coming, isn't there? If you want coloured and veined ones.
One, but I'm not telling you that.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say, but Monkey can.
But there may be an inkit one, as in it's literally next to me.
Oh, have you got it next to you?
You didn't hear that.
Yeah. So I'm just popping these out, and I will bring them up because some people will have missed it.
And
But
if anyone's got any ideas for Christmas flowers for next
oh
year,
yes, we are completely dry for Christmas flowers for next year. So please, private message me or Sam with any ideas you've got, preferably with a picture of what you're talking about, because I'm literally about 3 or 4 weeks away from starting next year Christmas. thinking about it. It never stops. And we're completely out of ideas for flowers, and we don't want to do it. We've done the poinsettia, so we need, you know, we've done every size and variation now.
I love how you coloured the poinsettias with green on it.
But can you see there? We've just got that beautiful stitch. But I will, because somebody said they liked how I did that, I will show you.
You can't ink this dye.
No, you cannot ink this dye. Do not ink this dye.
That's
Yeah.
why there's a different one.
Yeah. So I've just taken a little bit of the Christmas green pearl,
We have lots of ideas.
and I'm just tipping the edges. This, to me, this would look beautiful on this card, but as there's no more green, can I show you? They really stand out. Have you got one of? Oh, we've got one of the little mini tools, haven't we? I did a Christmas rose. I did a hellebore last year, and I did a Christmas rose 2 years before that. So it would need to be a completely different shape. So we can add a little bit of the green in the middle. And then the easiest way for these poinsettia is just
I like that one.
to pinch them.
Christmas cacti.
Christmas cacti.
We've got magnolia, we've got thistle, we've got snowdrop.
I do love a snowdrop. It's hard to do as a dye.
Snowdrop's a bit of an issue for a dye.
But you see, that's sort of doing the green. And then again, I would actually add, I've gone big on the green in the middle, but look what happens when I put a pearl drop in the middle, smaller. It tends to tie all of that white together. I do like that. That would look really nice. But I did say we're going to do white on white. So all I would do is what I would normally do with this one, with the poinsettia, with your tweezers, just literally pinch them, fold them up like that, and then fold the petals in to give you a nice flower, or fold them down. Your choice. You could do a mix of both. So just like that, and then again fold your petals up. But I could almost put those two together. Let's get some glue glaze.
No, Leslie, no.
What's Leslie saying?
Not Christmas, but a bird of paradise could be a challenge.
It could be a challenge, Leslie. There's a well-known phrase or saying for that, and it's got a lot of F's in
I
it.
have to live with him.
Yeah.
No.
Bird of paradise is my second favourite flower after peonies.
Amaryllis?
Absolutely love that. Did an amaryllis. Yeah, did an amaryllis last year.
There's lots of suggestions. So
Yeah,
thank you,
cool,
everybody.
thank you. So just, and again, I'll put a little pearl in. So we can do a beautiful double layer by changing the direction, folding one down and one up. And we get a beautiful double layer stitch poinsettia. All that detail's in there.
Here's some I made earlier.
You made. I made those, monkey. You weren't even here for most of today, no.
I love,
So-
I love how you cut the dots on the poinsettia I love how you cut the dots on the poinsettia with Adam on your show and raised it up.
Yes, you can do that, but I'm going to be honest, guys, it's an enormous faff.
There is a person that already has that kind of.
Yeah, and I think
style.
someone's already done that, so,
And-
you know, it might be an idea for next year, but...
He or she is a lovely person, but I ain't got time. So.
Oh, no, I haven't got the patience for that.
But each to their own.
Yeah.
Everyone has.
So, what I've also done is I've already cut some holly, because I feel I needed some holly, just to ground it, yeah? Now, I'd actually been colouring through the dye. What are you poking at me? Am I looking time? Yeah, so there might be a little bit of colour on this, so I'll take that one out. But I'm doing exactly the same. I'm just taking my tweezers and folding it up. But even, can you see even on the white on white? I don't know if you can see it. You can see the lines have embossed in of where the lines on the holly are. So I'm just going to fold this. There we go. So one. We'll do number two. What?
Jane who sent you them?
Oh, the Crafty Motions ones. Jane sent me them.
We're not doing them, Jane. If you're watching.
No, not for this year, but for next year,
No, Jane.
possibly.
Just no.
I just didn't have time this year. They came too late.
I'm telling Jane now.
I have a wall. I should explain to everyone watching. I have a wall of sort of things and a pot of. I have a wall of sort of things that are hanging up of ideas and inspiration and things that I like or need to use. So Sam's actually looking at it.
This flower, you're gonna hibiscus?
I've never done a hibiscus.
No.
Send us a picture, because I'm terrible with flowers. So I've just shaped the holly, and I'm going to shape the the smaller holly as well. I don't do the tiny one. I only shape the medium size. Or really, it should be large. It should be large, small, and micro, really, in the way that I've done it. But I'm just, again, folding round my tweezers. So easy to do. And you could just put them down on a piece of foam and push your ball tool into it to get them to move a little bit. That would be lovely. So, there we go.
We're getting lots of ideas.
Fantastic. That's why we have such a fabulous group. You know, if you ever have any ideas, you can always message. We add them to a list. A lot of them, the list never get answered.
Them every
Yeah.
couple of weeks, and I go, no,
No.
can't do it because it doesn't work, or we tried it before, or yeah, I'll add to it.
Or we'll add it to the list. I mean, we've probably got a list that's long enough to last us for the next 6 years. But there's always specifics we're looking for. So, taking the one that's leaning the right direction,
And also not everything's possible.
putting it up, and I'm using Pinflair glue gel. I find sometimes for demos that's easier, but for the holly, I've found this is the easiest thing going because it lets me get the depth and let those little lines really shine.
It.
Elevate it. Thank you, monkey.
I was thinking of my carnation time.
Oh, yeah.
With the elevate.
So I've just gone for 2 there. Yeah, really simple. I'm going to snip out.
And you can find your scissors.
When I find my scissors. Okay. 3 petals from the third one that I cut. And I don't put the little ones in until the flowers are in. I tuck them in. And I'm just putting that there just to so that I've got almost like that half wreath done.
What's teeth tonight?
Yeah.
That's what I've
I don't know.
I'm having...
Because you're having your beef stuff, so I've got to look after myself.
Sticky beef
Yeah.
with sweet chili
Which is
because
lovely.
I just can't bother tonight.
Yeah, but you didn't get 2, did you, this week, like you did
No, I
last
got
week?
2, but I had one.
Oh, have you already had
I
one?
had one and I bought them
Right,
because I
so
was starving.
what I've done is I've made up the poinsettia, but I've already put the pearl drops in it, and that will just pull it all together.
And you'll hold it up at the end.
And I will hold it up at the end. So now I'm going with, and I've put them out in size, but I'm tucking them in to the holly. Can you see I'm letting the holly come round? It'll make more sense when we put it together. So there's 3 of the largest I've put in, and I'm kind of going down in size as I work my way around that ring, but bring holly leaves up. Yeah?
Move it down a bit. 'Cause we're very,
Oh, sorry guys.
very high.
Sorry.
And you can't send a photo on the live, but you can private message.
Your private messages, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just going sort of down in size as I'm doing it. And look, I'm tucking them under holly so that it's all still showing. It sounds weird, but it just works. Because flowers grow amongst the leaves, and I know they don't traditionally grow, you know. I know that poinsettia and holly don't grow together, but they look lovely together. They would if Sam planted them together. Yeah, unlike our clematis that died, didn't it? Our beautiful 4-year-old.
I think that grew.
Well, I spoke
too
to
fast.
Pauline this morning. She said she thinks it got root rot.
No, I think it grew too fast as well.
It grew massive in like 2 years.
2 years it took over like 4 fence panels,
Yeah,
and it was tall.
yeah, it was tall. So can you see there? I'm just using different sizes just to almost keep filling that half circle. All of it white on white. Yeah? So,
We'll answer this question.
we'll answer what? You want me to answer it
We'll
now?
answer this question. What card weight do you use for flowers?
Right,
Because that's a very...
It's subjective. I use between 220 and 250 for flowers. I use nearly always now the Craft Artist Essential card, and that varies on colour between 220 and 250. And I would always say the optimum point for die cutting is 220 to 250. It's a personal thing, but it's what I've found over the years and my experience. For boxes and card blanks and things, 300's perfect. For a nice crisp cut on a detailed die, 220 to 250. Below that, it doesn't cut. Over that, it doesn't cut as well. So all I've done is tuck in the smallest bits of holly at either end, and then I'm looking then to see if I can find any gap, and I put the tiny ones in. And whatever I do on one side, I'm echoing on the other. So I'm going to put that little gap there.
Do you ever use foam for flowers?
What, flower foam?
Yeah, just foam.
Yeah, I never use foam pads for flowers. I always use glue gel, or I use normal craft artist glue.
Foam, as in like foam.
Yeah, but flower foam, I have done it in the past and made some lovely ones.
Depends on what flower.
Yeah, and depends on the mood as well. But there, we've got our flowers, and I just want to... Now, normally, I would wait for this to dry a little bit. Remember we talked about we're using texture, we're using shine. All I want is, I need these flowers on the top just to pull in a little bit of that. So, this is where I will use my fine glue applicator again, and just randomly put little blobs of glue in random places. I'm not doing it in set places. I'm not doing it on every single petal.
Don't want to hit the camera, sorry.
I'm just randomly putting glue dots or glue on a few of the petals, a few of the bits of ivy, holly.
You've clearly got to think about bringing the card up today.
I have. Why? Because I'm actually showing it
No,
properly.
as in not doing it central.
Yeah.
No, the card.
Oh, I know. Sorry. That's a great idea, Michelle. Swap out the embossing folder. It would make a beautiful winter wedding card. Could be any occasion. It's only because I've used a Christmas folder. Yeah, because you know I'll start going off on a tangent and thinking about it.
Well, the thing is, the perfect time for us to do it would be December.
It
Because
would.
I'll be wearing a suit.
Yes.
But the answer's no.
No, don't start bringing that one up. And then, I'm not doing what I'd normally do. And you know what I normally do is tip the whole pot on. I'm taking some out in my fingers and I'm just lightly flicking a bit over.
You need to hold it up after you've done that.
Yeah. Just because I don't want to weight that down, and I'm just going over just so that hopefully everywhere I've put a little glue dot just picks up a little bit
Because
of this glitter. There we go. So I'm going to tip it over.
Hills has said if that's sparkling on Facebook, it must be mega in real life.
It is.
So
Oh, it
I'll
is.
have a look at the camera and then I'll tell you if it's going to be sparkling.
Yeah. So there you go.
Oh God,
It's.
you're seeing nothing.
You are seeing. Yeah, Sam's right. You are seeing absolutely nothing
You get a bit, but when you're looking at
compared
it,
to what we're seeing.
10 times more.
It looks as if it's like a TV effect of it just flashing, and we're not fixing any lights on it or anything. But that, and again, you could change the way change the orientation completely and make it just like that. But all we've done is white on white, and we've used the two sort of winning dies from the pole, and I've added in, so it's all coconut white essential card, and I've added in the new pearl dimension, the crystal snow, and of course there's a little bit of ice white pearl fusion ink pad, all that will be out very, very soon.
Okay.
Cool.
Julia's asked about a die to make a card box 6, 7, 8 inches. The answer would be no because of how expensive it would be.
Yes.
And also, you wouldn't be able to get a certain size because it won't hit your machine.
Yeah, you cannot make a box go through a die cutting machine that's bigger than 8 1/4 inches across. So there's no physical way to make an 8x8 box without having to cut something 4 times, and the die would be over the £40 mark because of how big it would need to be, which is why we've never done them. That's why you use the scan and cut for it. Do it on 12x12 or make it by eye. But yeah, the scan and cut's perfect for doing that, to be perfectly honest with you. Your die cutting machine, it's a waste of money to buy a die to cut that.
Okay, bending tools, how do you keep the pad on? Because of Velcro, you just...
I don't know. It just does.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, it just does.
Sometimes if you rip it off, it can come off.
Yeah, you can rip it off, and sometimes what you'll actually do is if you really overwork it, I've done it a couple of times. In fact, I've got one down here that fell off earlier. It's been used that much that it starts to disintegrate and pull away from the felt. It happens. It's one of those. I think if you're more careful with it, it doesn't.
Elizabeth has asked, are you going to do a die for the box for the crackers? No, as we just said.
No,
It
Yeah,
doesn't work.
it would cost you a fortune and wouldn't be worth it.
Can you colour the pearl drops with alcohol inks?
Haven't tried it. Yes, once they've been made, you should be able to colour over the top with an alcohol pen.
Yeah, sorry, alcohol pen. Yeah.
Yeah, so you should be able to do that. Because we're not doing like some of the other companies. And Sandra Folds in Tenerife. Hello, Sandra. But it's very hot there. We're not doing loads of colours because that's
Pearl
pointless.
drops drying time.
Pearl drops drying time, touch dry 30 minutes, fully dry, what I call postable dry, which means you can post the product 24 hours. This is the one we did at the start. Let's have a look. No. So it depends on you whether it's humid or hot or whatever.
I would say don't touch it for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Just leave it 3 hours because I think I did
But
some.
this one, these were done at 4:30. So these were done at 4:30 today.
So 3 hours.
So 3 hours. Yeah.
So 3 hours.
Yeah.
Difference between the ice and snow.
Ice is crunchy and beautiful and glittery. Snow is soft and luxurious. Ice is. That was the snow. Ice is bigger chunks. It's more for your shaker cards. And it's a lot flatter. So I would put that onto a double-sided adhesive sheet at the back or something, or use it in shaker cards. That's your ice. The snow is the one, and snow's the one I love, so that's the one we've brought back this year.
Pink tape. We explained about pink tape. 9th, it's on.
Pink tape will launch on the 9th.
There's pink and other colours. We don't
Yeah.
know. You will not know either because it's going to be a mystery.
Yeah, and remember, everything is launched exclusively on Crate and Craft first, and then, depending on what stock's left, it then goes into retail.
Any items tonight available from the Art Craft.
Yeah, everything we've got tonight, everything we've used tonight, apart from the Pearl Dimension and the ink pad, because they're not out yet, and the pink tape are available from the Art of
So
Craft.
please don't ring Penny saying, John said that the pink tape's in.
Yeah.
It's not
Whoever it was that
in.
rang Penny, and it's more than one person, so I'm not picking on one, and said, John said the pink tape's in the warehouse, or that the dewdrops are in the warehouse, so can I order it? No. They may be in the warehouse. That doesn't mean Penny has
mean they can
access.
order
It doesn't mean they've probably not even cleared customs yet. They can be in the warehouse and not be legally allowed to be sold.
We're not a Newbury show because you're on TV.
Not at Newbury because I'm on TV and it's too far from here.
Why would you choose the Go Power?
I will go through all of that on the 9th, but the only thing I would say on the Go Power is I've had my machine, and how many have I got now?
5.
I think I've been through 5 or 6, as in still got. I think I've broken 1, maybe 2. Now, in 5 or 6 years, it has never let me down, and it will cut any die that has ever been invented that is A4 or smaller.
Does everyone get those calendars and diaries out now?
Yeah.
Can we give you some dates?
Cool. Sam's going to give you some dates, guys.
No.
No, he's not.
No.
Oh, what?
I'm saying no to Helen. No. I will not move closer.
No, we won't. I'm sorry.
10th of July. What's on that show?
So the 10th of July will...
11 and 3.
So 10th of July, 11 and 3, that will be the brand new Christmas Fusion Pearl and brand new Christmas Fusion Gold inks, and 4 absolutely beautiful stamps from 2Js.
You're not going to see them yet.
No, they are beautiful.
9th and 10th is...
9th and 10th is the Go Power machine. It will be the pink tape, it will be the replacement plates, and there may be another chance to catch up on some older John Next Door dies, or to catch up on the Christmas dies, because if there's any left, we may put a last chance of what we've released on the first one on that show as well. So you actually get to see me 4 times on Monday the 10th. And then what you're saying, this Sunday.
This Sunday, these 2 are back in stock.
Back in stock. So I know loads of people wanted the large hexagon cracker last year, and it completely sold out in 2 days. That is back. The proper cracker, that is a beautiful one, but that's got to be Michelle Ferguson.
It is.
Yeah, is back in stock.
And
then there's 2 new ones.
Everyone requested.
Yes.
Archangel, you're not watching,
Yeah.
because you requested this one several times, didn't you?
Yeah, you rested it loads. The half-size hexagon cracker. I love this. This is just beautiful. Yeah, I mean, here's another box of them. Just stunning. And then, I'll show you that one as well.
Show that one, and then you pass them back.
And then I need to pass those back to Sammy. That's got to be this has got to be a Leslie, this one.
So you have proper cracker back and stock, the
Prop-
large hexagon back
Yeah.
and stock. You have the new small hexagon,
Yeah.
and then you have
The brand new twist cracker.
the one that Sam really loves.
Yeah. So, look, yeah, you know, we've seen these sort of sweetie square crackers before. Not like that. That's it. No ribbon, no tying, no nothing. It twists closed and twists open, or twists closed and twists open. You can fit chocolates in there, sweets in there, presents, gifts in there.
That's Leslie.
Or Leslie, look at it. And these dies you're using to make these windows are included in the set as well. But you fill them with sweets and all sorts. But yeah, the twist cracker, I think, is just so clever.
They launch Sunday.
They launch on
There
Sunday.
is videos launching tomorrow
Yeah.
at 9 a.m.
So at 9 a.m. tomorrow, videos will launch for
small twist.
small hexagon twist cracker and also a new cracker box video.
Yes, but what's it for?
It's for the twist cracker.
The twist cracker.
Because there are videos already and full instructions written by June for making and working out box sizes for all the other crackers. So we've done one just for the twist cracker for everybody. What? I'll put the card back. Okay. So that's what we've made tonight, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that's taught you something and shown you some ideas.
Any questions not answered, please.
Any questions not answered, please message either Sam or myself, or me or Sam. And we will try and do a little sneak peek of some of the crackers later in the week. Did we say on the John Next Door page? We're going to do a little 15-minute video on the John Next Door page, won't we, with the crackers? We don't know what day yet. We haven't decided because it depends on heat and how we're feeling. Because, to be honest, we are very, very tired. It's been a very stressful... Christmas is a very stressful period.
We love Christmas.
Yeah, we love Christmas. We almost came to blows on Friday, didn't we?
We'll be taking a break mid-July.
Yes, we are
5
looking
days.
to take a sort of 4 or 5 days off in mid-July.
We are.
Yes, Sam's decided
It's
that we are.
booked.
He's just
We
told
are.
me. He's told me this afternoon we're doing it regardless. So for now, guys, that's it. Take care. Do you want to say goodbye, Sam?
Bye, Sam.
Take care, guys. Bye.